And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon. Excuse me. Welcome to the Market Recap. Wednesday, November the 30th. My name's John. Thanks for trusting me with your time. As always, we're going to take a look at these markets, review, reflect on what happened today. And boy, a lot of stuff did happen today. Got E-mini S&Ps closing up over 122 points. NASDAQ up 4%. The Dow futures up over 700 points. All on what Chairman Powell had to say. Amazing. Something else, crude oil up 3% today, closing at $80.55, up $2.35. Excuse me, but most of that was prior to the EIA. Now, the EIA announcement at 9:30 said that there was a 12.5 million barrel draw in crude stocks here. Fundamentally, that should push price higher, but most of the movement today was prior to the open. We're going to see that on the charts shortly. Quite the move up in the equities today. We went from the bottom of the balance area, if you will, all the way through the top of the balance area in the S&Ps. Looks like it in the NASDAQ as well. Pretty powerful move to the upside today. What is it that Chairman Powell said? Well, he said quite a lot. Just to go over some of the highlights, one of them is in the title of today's recap. We're not going to destroy the economy just to clean it up later, which I think is a very positive thing. Expecting terminal rate to be just over 5.02%. He said the October inflation data was a welcome surprise, but it will require much more evidence to give reassurance that inflation is actually dropping. Economic activity has slowed to well below the longer run trend, and this must be maintained. So he's looking for the economy to remain slow for a period of time. Wage increases are now being offset by inflation for the majority of workers. Well, we knew about that. Fed has been able to look through supply disruptions in the past. It's unclear whether this will continue. Slowing down at this point is a good way to balance risks. Slowing down on raising rates, I believe, is what he's talking about. He says he believes there is a path to a soft or softish landing without a severe recession. So, he doesn't want to over-tighten. Cutting rates is not something I intend to do anytime soon. Doesn't want to over-tighten, but he's not going to be pulling back either. With unemployment still low, the Fed is in a position to get inflation under control. So a lot of positives in what he had to say today, and the market certainly represented that. As always, make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome here on the recap. I apologize about yesterday. I had some gremlins here in the office, and then all of a sudden I lost my internet. So hoping that doesn't happen again today. We'll get through the recap here. There's much to see, much to talk about, and much to think about as far as what's going to happen for tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and start here with the charts, and we're going to start with the daily in crude. We did have an up move in crude, as we would probably have expected, right? Hang on one second. Okay. So continuation of the move to the upside. We did add 5,400 approximate in open interest yesterday. Here's the final. We added 5,000, so a little bit less than expected or anticipated, but still pretty decent jump in open interest on this move off of the low. You're going to see what we have as far as open interest is concerned for tomorrow. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So here's when the move happened, was in the overnight. We were unable to close the gap. 9:30 is when the EIA came out, and there was a little bit of a knee jerk, but the market really just settled in right where it was, almost like it was anticipating it. So the move, expectations perhaps after the API last night, which I believe was down 7.8 million barrels. So already the anticipation of a larger drop in crude stocks last night driving price higher and kind of taking some of the thunder out of the release today. Now into the equities. All right. We were looking at this as a very important level this morning. The convergence between this trend line and a weekly kickoff level sometimes creates big possible moves. It wasn't until Powell started speaking that we had this big powerful move happen, but if the market wasn't expecting something, it probably would have been prepared and more likely to be able to handle anything that happened today, which it kind of was not. We were at the low end of balance. Balance rules. We look to buy the low end of balance until proven wrong and accepted below. We never truly accepted below the low end of balance here. Powell started speaking. We took out the high end of the area of balance we've been in for several days, and we found continuation. We had really decent volume today in futures, and it looks like we're going to be around 5 billion in New York. So looking more like 6 billion in New York. So with pretty decent volume if we continue to see the open interest coming in tomorrow. This is going to be a potential big change in, or at least continuation in direction in the S&Ps. We've got medium time frame putting in higher highs, higher lows. We've got certainly an interesting trading day tomorrow. Are we going to see continuation? Are we going to see a pullback? Tomorrow is Thursday. We have unemployment on Friday. What's the 30-minute chart look like? Well, range, testing the low. We put in a poor low in the S&Ps today. In other words, there's no real sign of excess at the low today. If Powell didn't start speaking, it could have been a completely different outcome, of course. Why not, right? If my, well, I can't say that. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen. If it did happen, it did happen, whatever it is. So he starts speaking. We break out of the short time frame balance of yesterday. We seek balance the rest of the day. The rest of the session, this market is seeking sellers. It never finds them. Where is the late spike? Does it begin here or does it begin here? I'm going with here. Okay. Why? Well, last week's high was really the upper extreme of balance. So if we can, open above that, I'm looking at that as acceptance of higher pricing, almost like opening in a late spike. Opening above this range today is really highly likely acceptance of higher pricing. We have weekly kickoff high not too far away now. Boy, it was a long ways away. Today, we were at weekly kickoff low, almost reached weekly kickoff high today. What is that? That is 150, 170 points. 170 points. We got 122, I think, today. So again, the late spike is going to be basically at last week's high. What was last week's high? 49. Opening above that, in the late spike, acceptance of higher pricing. Above the late spike, more probable acceptance of higher pricing. We can get this market all the way up to weekly kickoff high tomorrow. NASDAQ, which is a completely different market and a completely different situation and a completely different look. Testing the low of balance throughout the better part of the session today. Powell starts speaking, taking us out the upper part of the area of balance. This market traded basically right to the 100 session moving average on this chart. The 100 session moving average on the continuation chart. What about the S&Ps? Where did that go to? Let's look at the continuation chart here. I got to make sure I get it in the right place here. Look at where we've been. Okay, here's April. We started holding below the 200 session moving average. We tested it here. We tested it here. We tested it here. We tested it here. We're above it now. We are above the 200 session moving average. Is that something that's going to mean something moving forward? Maybe it's going to be an opportunity for us to use the 200 session for support. Do we really think that that the low is in? Could it be? Would it be? Seems unlikely, but hey, I've seen stranger things. So, where's the late spike in the NASDAQ? Take a look at the 30. Good to see you, Kevin, Dr. VJ, James, Mike, and Haggle Matters. Thank you. So, obvious. Look at where the market kind of stutter-stepped here in the NASDAQ. It did in the S&Ps, but not as exact. Last week's high. This, to me, is going to represent the bottom of the late spike. 11,930. Let's just call it that for now. Opening in the late spike, probable acceptance of higher pricing. Opening above the late spike, higher probability of acceptance of higher pricing. Boy, we went through 1, 2, 3, 4 naked points of control on this move to the upside like water. Powerful move. Gold also catching a move to the upside, decent volume, breaking out of where? The area of balance we've been in and showing signs of acceptance. We see some jump in open interest and a higher jump in volume. This may continue. We may see the weekly kickoff high by the end of the week here in gold, not just in the equities. Looking lower, Powell started speaking about 11:30, a little bit of a knee jerk to the downside, and then up. What did dollar index do? Dollar index ended up closing a lot lower, almost a full percentage point lower. All right. Euro. Okay, still in range, still in value, decent volume on the way up. We'll see what kind of open interest we drew in there today. Okay, again, a move lower. Powell started speaking. Didn't really move right away, but eventually the dollar started to head lower. So, of course, the euro starts to head higher. We're still range bound. We're still in short time frame control here. We did put up some pretty decent volume today. Nothing tremendous like breakout type of volume, but it's still at least some decent volume. Hi, Lacey. Lacey's moosing me for a pet. She knows I'm sad. Lacey, stop. I gotta keep my hand on the mouse, Lace. All right, go to the other side. All right. The 10-year, well, things are looking like a slowdown in increasing rates. So lower rates mean higher pricing for the 10-year. Here's the 30. Just jumped off the page, didn't it? We've got space before we get to weekly kickoff high. Wow, look at the volume. Pretty good volume. Again, this product really just rolled over, so part of that is due to that. And the natural gas was probably largely unaffected by what happened in the economy today, but get a little bit of a push to the downside here. Still relatively range bound by the time we close in regular trading hours here. Take a look. I know. I'll get you. Chill. I know. Lacey got to go out. So opening in range value, failing at value high, short time frame level there. Then continuation to the downside. I think the real interesting markets are, of course, going to be our equity markets tomorrow. Make sure you check out the market forecast. It should be a really interesting one. Well, Jimmy, we just kind of read through some of what Chairman Powell was talking about, and while I wouldn't call him dovish, he was upbeat. He says, we're probably going to be able to create a soft landing. There were a few things that he said that obviously investors and traders alike liked. So hoping that nobody was trying to fight that move to the upside would have been a bad idea. Lacey, you're a goof. I got this big dog here that's moosing me. She needs to get out. Well, this day in history, today, we lost one great musician and one heck of a human being. Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac passed today at 79 after a brief infection. God bless her heart. What a wonderful musician. What a wonderful person. I don't even want to go through any of the other things that happened today. Just a sad day. I love me some Christine McVie. So, on that note, I'm going to go cheer up, let the dog out, so she can stop moosing me here. I'm going to come up and say hi. Hi. There's Lacey. Oh, no. No, say hi over there. Look. Over there. Hi. Oh, no, with the microphone. Okay, we're going. All right. Yeah, my daughter, my son, they all love Fleetwood Mac. They're so sad. But I guess we all go. I didn't know she was 79 years old. To me, she'll be forever 30. Forever 35, right? 1977, I think rumors came out. Holy cow. No, I didn't know her, but I felt like I did. Just a great musician. All right. Well, get a good night's rest. Heal up. Have a glass of wine for Christine. Listen to some Fleetwood Mac and be ready for tomorrow. I'll see you for the market forecast, 7:45. Nice, bright and early. I will probably be up really early getting prepared for the trading day tomorrow. Looking forward to make Hogue money, too, at 8:20. So we'll watch the open together and maybe we'll see some decent opportunities. Other than that, I'm checking out. Have a great night with the ones you love. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Keep praying for peace, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:45.